Hello, hello.
Greetings, fellow Earthlings.
Greetings and salutations, and happy Monday day,
No,
night.
it's Tuesday. Remember, you took yesterday off.
Oh, yeah, everybody, it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday, and we are here because we've had a number of you reach out and ask us about our Poshfest experience in a little bit more detail. Yesterday we did go live and did a thrift haul, and we kind of talked a little bit about Poshfest 2019, but it was high level. It was just very topical, and it was beautiful and wonderful. So we wanted to join in on a lot of the conversations that are going around on not only what worked with Poshmark, but what didn't. And I think that we need to look at it from a realistic perspective, especially since it cost a lot of us a lot of money to go. And we really want to drill down onto what value there actually was in the conference itself. So we thought that we would just pop in here and answer some questions that you had sent us via direct message or on Instagram, and really, again, look at it from a realistic perspective. Now, I will say I am one of the people that have been touting the joys of Poshfest 2019.
Hey, Leslie.
I have really been very positive about the experience. It changed me in ways that I didn't know could happen. But I definitely want to take a look at the other side of things, because even though I'm a positive person, I think that there are things that need to be addressed. And we are going to do that today. So I took a couple of notes from just a few notes, just to make sure I don't miss anything, because is there anyone else out there that's ADD like me? If I don't write a note down, then I will forget.
I don't need a note or a box or a list.
Bill has like a photographic memory. So the first thing that I wanted to start with is something simple, because this is just the really easy one. This is the one that everyone is talking about. I did a couple of wrap-up videos that were really focused on this, but what was the biggest takeaway, or what was the most positive thing that we took from Poshfest 2019? So, babe, I'm gonna start with you, and what I want you to tell us, and tell everyone out there, is what nugget, so I'm stealing that from Ashton of A Wee Bit Worn, but what nugget of information, well, let me back that up. Let's start with, first of all, what was the best thing you got out of it overall, and then I want to know one piece of helpful nugget, tip, information that you took. So start with high level, and we'll go from there.
I think meeting the people that were out there that I just see names on was probably the best. I mean, I think that's what it was about, right? The community mainly this time, or maybe always. The nugget was the Bellwether's little nugget of information about offers likers versus clear out, which we actually tried and it worked. So
yes. And we'll go into a little bit more detail with that, because I am going to go through the session, and I will share with you the sessions we went to, what our experience was, and then dig deeper into that. But I absolutely second what Bill said, and this is what I've been focusing on so far, is the community piece. Community, meeting so many of you face to face and learning from each other. And for me, it wasn't just, a party. It wasn't just going and, which we did have fun, by the way. I have not laughed that hard in a very long time. But I also had those, every single time we went to a session with somebody, we turned to each other and said, what are you doing? Oh, what are you doing? Oh, that's interesting. Maybe I'll try that. So when I say it's a sense of community, yes, it's the camaraderie piece 100%. I also got to be closer to this guy here, which was super cool. But it was also the just having that person right next to you that you can throw ideas off of. Cool thing with that is, hey everybody, you don't have to be face to face to do that. You can do that at a Posh and Sip. You can do that through networking online. We've started a little Instagram group where we are gonna, ask questions back and forth. I think today you did that. And so what did you do today to foster that community?
There is a dress that we picked up yesterday at the bins. I Googled it for, 15 minutes, way too long. Couldn't find anything about it. To the Vintage Fashion Guild website.
Great website.
Couldn't find the label, nothing. So, Foxborough Vintage Brittany, hit her up on Insta, said, I'm sorry to bug you, but I have a question. Sent her pictures of the label, the dress, and within like 30 seconds, she was already like, well, this and this and this and this and this and this. So
Absolutely.
it's good to have resources other
Yeah.
than Google.
Yes, and I love that you say resources, because that's the other thing with community. You know, it can get, especially because you're doing this full time, so it can probably get pretty lonely just being around Lily and I every single day.
And Denali's podcast,
Oh yeah, Bill was binging your podcast today, Denali.
which is great.
Yeah, it helps you feel a little more connected.
Yeah.
But that connectivity, that knowing where your resources are, and as a new reseller, I feel that for you specifically, you know, you can't come in here every 5 seconds and ask me, what is this shape of a dress? What is this label? So being able to have those resources, which most of you probably are looking for as well, is a big part of that community. So that's hands down number one. And I think I saw Denali say the community is why she attends reseller events. 100%, it's a big piece. And Poshmark, that is really built into the fabric of Poshmark, is community. With that said, we definitely need to take a more analytical look at this conference to see if it was worth it. Now, you had mentioned the nugget you said about the closet clear out. Like I said, we'll go into detail, but I also found that was one of those pieces I took away, and I'll talk a little bit more about some of the things I took away. Did you have something else? I think I just cut you off.
No, I think that was probably the best one. That Masters of Negotiation one was that probably gave me the most information out of all of the ones. Although we couldn't get to Denali's because they're packed in there like you wouldn't believe.
But that's good news. But okay, and this is a really cool thing that I just thought of. So you found value, I feel, in things that maybe I didn't, because you're a new reseller.
Yeah.
Right? And that's going to take us into something that I think that, and I've heard from so many of you, that there needs to be different tracks, there needs to be different levels. But first, I want to start with a really crazy statistic, actually not statistic, can't even say it, but a really crazy number. Going to a conference that is not in your hometown is expensive. It's so expensive, and you definitely want to make sure you find value in it. So number one, the tickets for 2 of us. So I'm doing this times 2, so we'll just kind of cut it in half. But the tickets for both of us were, let's see, were those the plane tickets? Oh no, those were $487. So $487 were the tickets for Poshfest. Wow.
6 hours in the air.
I mean, is that right? Is that no? This is Poshfest. This isn't plane ticket.
Oh yeah. No, that sounds right.
Is that right?
Hey,
Back
Maria.
me up here. I pulled up my numbers from my account today. So $487. So both tickets. So they were about $250 a piece, $240 a piece.
Sounds right.
Yeah. Okay. So
Hey, Aaron.
So you got $240 to attend the conference. So right there, if you're spending that kind of money on a conference, you have some expectations that you're going to get something from it besides just community. Okay, our plane tickets were $653. So we already right there at a grand.
That's $100 an hour in the air.
That's crazy. And then of course we spent money on business cards, because we definitely wanted to have business cards to pass out. We had all of our Uber, our transportation, our airport parking, all of that was $78. You had food and beverage, entertainment. We did go to a pre-posh party that, of course, is going to cost a little money. That was $481. Did purchase some merchandise, because while you're there, of course, you want mementos. You want to remember, well, you didn't, but you want to remember. This is one thing I got. It's a double XL so that I could cut the sleeves, and it's really long, and I can wear it over leggings. I'll show you. I was really excited about this. They thought I was crazy getting a double XL, but it's cozy. So then all together, with all of those fees and everything, it was $1,800. So about $900 a piece is what we spent. Others may have spent more or less. I know that there are a lot of frugal people out there that did great things like shared Airbnbs, shared transportation, those type of things. But since we were married, we kind of took this as a vacation, and we knew we were going to write this off anyway. So right there, okay, $1,800 to attend a conference. Okay, our expectation should be we're going to learn something from it. Absolutely.
And we didn't have an hour flight though, so if, like Leslie, you're coming from Philly, I guarantee her ticket was like $1,200 probably. So
maybe. I mean, it's going to be expensive, but yes. So it's one of those things where Depending where you are, the
regional.
price can definitely fluctuate where you are. And I'm also super frugal, and so we shared a lot of Ubers. We also had Lara. Lara really put us under her wing, and she was like mama bear the whole time. So we were super lucky there. But again, so that can fluctuate. But still, either way, around that amount, there are some expectations. So just to give you a background, I actually do work for a large organization. I'm a senior instructional designer, and we just had our conference this last summer. We have an annual conference where we are a tech company, and we do the same thing as Poshmark. We have people that attend every single year. It's very large. I have to build out content for our customers. We listen to what they say. They're spending money to come to us. So we, every single year, take a poll and we say, hey, what is it that you want to know? What is it that is going to keep you coming back year after year? And where are you going to find value in this conference?
See, Cheryl.
That's really what Poshmark should be doing. I'm not sure if they've done that in the past. I didn't know if I mentioned, but this is our first Poshfest, so we went in with very little expectations. How do you add value and all of that? One of the key things that our customers have said for the company I currently work for is they want education. They want to walk away with knowledge. They want those nuggets. They want something that's going to help them make their businesses stronger, better, and help them make money. And I feel that that's what we as resellers really expect when we go to a conference. So going back, community, yes, it is so very important, and I would not change anything for the world, but we need to look at ways to improve the conference a little so that it can be of value to everybody.
And Denali said they are going to send out a survey, so.
Awesome. That was my question to Bill when we were taking Lily on a walk earlier. I said I would assume they would so they can help improve year after year.
Well, I already got one for the men's happy hour, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah, exactly. And Denali, you've been to, and anyone else on the line, has anyone else been to a previous Poshfest? And if so, was this year, I don't want to say better, but more of what you were expecting? So I'm going to throw that question out there just to do a quick little poll for anyone out there.
Oh, Leslie didn't meet Denali? She was running around a lot.
Yeah, there were so many people I didn't meet, and I'm like, wait, you were there? And I'm seeing that a lot. People are saying, wait, you were there. There was a lot going on. So there was a lot going on. We did end up day one getting our little agenda, and you'll see, there's page after page. There's a lot of different things going on here. I also had a kind of insider perspective as a speaker. So for me, just taking from this perspective, I was really lucky that our moderator was on top of it. She had us practice. We went through everything we were supposed to do, but we didn't even know as speakers when we were speaking or what we were speaking until like a few weeks before the conference. There was a lot of it felt like rushed to it.
Hey, Nicole.
So they were probably still just getting things organized. They were also working on an app. So going back to what worked well, the community piece, the app was super cool. And for any sort of large conferences that are out there, having an app really is taking it to the next level. And they did get that last minute completed. It worked. I didn't use it because I like taking notes on things, but it was really cool to have that.
But I think maybe next year they may not have to print these out because that's saving a lot of money right
Exactly.
there. That's a lot of trees for all those people to have just hanging around.
And so if that's important to you, if you're environmentally conscious, which I think a lot of us are, that should be feedback that we give at the end of when we get that survey, is if they have an app, well, let's use it. Let's, really utilize the service it can provide.
Denali said it was much the same as last year with the double the amount of attendees. The venue was better.
Okay.
It felt more like a conference as opposed to last year. It felt like a food venue.
Awesome. Well, okay, so that's actually good to know. So that's something we can compare it to. So they take feedback and then they make it feel more like a conference. When we're paying this amount, like I mentioned, the $1,800 for us, I want to go in and I want to feel like it's a conference. So for me, again, going to conferences and being part and creating content for learners for conferences, I felt that in that manner, it was set up pretty organized.
I probably
so
would have gotten more out of it if I hadn't started helping you and then you helping me.
Yeah.
So I can see how it probably would have been real beneficial to people that just got the app or have been in like a month.
Exactly. And I will also say that for me, it was a little bit of a different experience because on day one, I couldn't enjoy the panels that I wanted to go to. So as a speaker, we were asked to do 3 panels back to back. And so we ended up missing a lot of those panels that were of interest to us. Like I wanted to go see the YouTube panel. I really wanted to see Nicole. I wanted to see what information would be provided. As someone who is not on like the one-on-one track, I felt that that would have brought me value. And again, that's on me because I was speaking, but just if they formatted it just a little bit differently, maybe with tracks, then it would help us all be able to attend to what we wanted to. So,
or if they just maybe had 1 session or 2 the first day and then had a second one of the same session the second day, just for that whole reason.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely,
Just
that could
split
totally
them
work.
up. Don't have like 90 minutes of the whole same thing on one day. Just have like an hour the first day, and like you said, for people that didn't catch it the first day, there's always a second opportunity.
There you go. That's a really great piece of information. So just for those of you that didn't attend Poshfest, it started off, there was a registration, and again, I'm just reading from the book here because I forget what we did a few days ago. So there was a registration and breakfast. It was a nice breakfast. It was a great to network. You got to sit at these tables. You were, talking to different people. There was a couple of panels that happened before the breakout sessions. And these panels were the Balancing Act, Tales of Part-Time Poshers. So you had a moderator and then some speakers that were talking about their life as part-time poshers. And then they went into another panel right away in the same venue of the road to becoming a master marketer. So there was a lot on the main stage before the actual State of the Union. And then we had the State of the Union with Manish. That didn't happen until 10:35. Now, most conferences I attend, the State of the Union is usually pretty early on the day or in the day of day one because it gets you hyped and it gets you excited. But it flowed pretty naturally. So up to this point, it was great. And then we had lunch at 11:15. Now, we just had breakfast at 9:30 and now we're having lunch at 11:15. Kind of close, but I understand the reason why because they had all those breakout sessions there.
And Nicole, just to your point, I heard and I spoke to at least 3 or 4 speakers that the first run was the best run. That after the second one and the third one, they're like, wait, what question did you ask? Did I answer that question already? So I think splitting up would be best.
Exactly. And something that you may have seen that I felt is by the third one, I was trying to be interactive with the crowd. So by the third one, I was like, did I ask the same question already? Did I make the same joke already? It just didn't feel as organic that third time in a row. I think that's a really great point. And then the breakouts happened. So after lunch where you did some more networking, this is where, I think that conference feel was present. So they had a number of breakouts that you could attend. There was a giant list. They were all different. You had everything from face-to-face with the Poshmark executive team to get to know them, community and marketing, business operations. You can see all the different people. You had best practices. So this one was called Posh 101, best practices when starting your business on Poshmark. Anyone, if you did attend that, let us know. I did not get a chance. Again, this is day one. I didn't get to go to these, which was unfortunate. Did you attend that one?
No.
The best practices when starting your business?
No.
No, I did not, unfortunately.
And Denali missed hackathon because she had to get ready to speak.
Oh, that's right. So
I'm telling you, they need that. The big ones, they need to have day 1 and day 2. Especially hackathon, really.
Exactly. Hackathon should be the block where there's nothing else going on. You had connect to consumers, a guide to Posh markets, content strategies, how to break into the booming world of YouTube. That's and this is day 1, day 2? I feel like that was day 2. That was wrong. No,
it's day 1.
But that's not correct. Oh no, it was day 1 because I missed it. That's right. Going back to again, I don't remember what happened. Taking your relationship beyond the app. Inventory processes for the pros. That's the one that I did. Building your personal brand, act like a boss. So a lot of these were very much geared towards new poshers, like Bill mentioned, which is cool, right? I think that this festival, there were 1,600, or this festival, I keep calling it a festival, this conference, there were 1,600 attendees. And I think a lot of them were new.
Brittany.
A lot of people were coming up to me, asking me very basic questions. And as an experienced reseller, I was happy to answer them, but I feel like there should have been different tracks. And I've said this, I think, the third time already in this session here, but
before. I think.
Having different tracks, and many of you 100% are on the same page with me. But and then as we went through, there were a number of different sessions that were all very focused on again, new resellers for sure. So that was kind of day one. Then you had another, some additional panels, and then the networking piece of that. So,
Kathy, hackathon is where Poshmark asked Poshmark sellers to send in their ideas about how to improve the app, what they wanted to see. How many they said they get? 14,000 something.
they had a ton of a lot of submissions.
But they came up with 2. The inventory.
3.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
4 actually, because of the app. So they actually said
right.
the app was the first piece there, and then you had the app, you had Posh Stories, you had the inventory sheet, and then you had the private listings.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
We'll talk. That was my favorite part, by the way, of Poshfest is the hackathon.
70% of attendees were new. Leanne from the community team told me. So that makes total sense.
Yeah, okay, so if you think about those statistics, if 70% of your attendees are going to be brand new to the app, you definitely want to cater to that. But then what about the other 30%? What about those of us that are seasoned resellers? What can we get out of it? Again, I was really lucky. I got a ton of, community, and I was able to reach out to people and get questions answered. I will tell you my biggest nugget. So I asked Bill at the beginning what he picked up, and I will tell you in the session, so day 2, I was able to attend a few of those sessions, and I did go to the Art of Negotiation, as did Bill, because that's the one we ended up going to since we couldn't get into the Denali session, the live thrifting, which, by the way, the live thrifting makes so much sense why that one was packed every single time with new thrifters or new resellers that were really interested.
70% of the attendees, that was their first Poshfest, not new sellers.
Okay, I'm thinking new sellers.
That's
but either way, I mean, it was our first Poshfest as well, and I am definitely not a newbie. I'm not a one. So.
No.
Those are interesting statistics there. But number one, so in the Art of Negotiation, it was a lot of the same old information that I, trial and error, practicing what I'm doing. But I will say that, yes, Laura is a very just blunt person, and I really enjoyed that. And biggest thing is she says she wants Poshmark to pay for shipping. I don't disagree. And so it was interesting listening to this session about how she does not do offers to likers. She only does closet clear out. And I don't do closet clear out. I've never done closet clear out. It just wasn't my strategy.
Until last night.
Until Sunday night when we got home.
Oh, I can't even remember.
I know, it's a day. But we ended up trying it. And that's the thing, it's about trying new things. And so I did learn from her because she said that it worked for her. We tried it. We had a number of sales. So again, that is information. But could I have learned that information somewhere else? Maybe, but I'm glad that I learned it in the session. The other session that I attended that I was really excited to was I attended it with, and Brittany, you were there, and it was about
Instagram one?
Yeah, it was content strategies, how to build your brand through storytelling on Instagram. And as someone who is very active in social media, this was a topic that I was super interested in, and I did get something out of it. So when I think about those things that worked well, or what could work well for people that are more, I guess, advanced, this was a topic that really had me. So it was just nice to hear different ways that you can enhance your brand through storytelling on Instagram, because that also tied directly into the new feature, which is the Posh Stories, which will be coming out, they said, in a couple of months. And the Posh Stories that was revealed during the hackathon is essentially, it's kind of like Instagram, where you can post a picture, you can post a video, you can tag people in it, you can tag the item, it can be clicked on, and you can go directly to the listing.
Quick.
Very similar to Instagram. So the session that was on how to build your brand through storytelling on Instagram was very motivational to me, and I've already seen an improvement in my engagement, which I feel benefits my business as well. So that was really great. So there were a lot of sessions, but the questions that I got, so I do want to answer specifically, because if not, I'm just going to be rambling.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Brittany, funny story. I asked my Instagram followers what video they wanted to see next, negotiation or Instagram tips. They virtually all picked negotiation. We want more sales. What?
Well, that's, I mean, right? Who doesn't want more sales?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that could be another more advanced track that they do in the future and as they go forward.
Oh yeah, I bet it's not Hugo. I bet it's Tiffany. Hugo's probably playing Call of Duty right now.
Well, you'd be watching hockey right now, but
I would be.
I stole you. Okay, so a couple of things, kind of high level. Everyone was asking what wasn't so great about it. Again, everyone's talking about all positive, what they learned. That's really what I was focusing on right there. But talk about maybe where the opportunity was. Kind of touched on that already. And then,
Day 2, that 3-hour networking time, I think that was ill spent. They could have at least had, like I said, you split the major themed breakouts and have a couple during that 3 hours. I think.
Yeah, add a little more in there. So then again, thoughts on content as an experienced seller. Yeah, again, the content I feel was very much focused on a new seller, and and maybe that was what their goal was, to really just focus on the one-on-one track. But things can be improved. Okay, so I'm answering all the questions kind of in one idea that I have. So for me, the tracks. Now, we can say different tracks all day long, and some of you out there are probably like, what the heck are you talking about? What's a track? What's going on? So I've been in education a very long time, and one of the things that we do focus on is different levels or tracks for different learners. So you have your 101, Posh 101, and when it comes to Posh 101, a lot of that content can be, the perfect listing. There, talking about how do you do a nice title or an effective title, how do you do an effective description, your cover shots, all of those basic features that people that are new to the app would love to do. And those sessions could be, given one after another. So if you have a Posh 101 track, you have someone that says, hey, I want to go to this, and this. They can attend maybe in that little breakout session. That's a great amount of time. They can attend all 3. And then like you had mentioned, which I think is a great idea, instead of repeating them after another, the next day they could do the track again. So then that way people can,
Right.
pop around with where they are.
Right.
Now, if you're going to do a one-on-one, you have to have a 201 or you have to have an advanced track, because you're going to have learners that, they know the one-on-one. What are they going to do during that time? There wasn't a lot of things for people to do that already knew how to take great cover shots.
Yeah, I want to ask Denali what she got out of the
yeah.
breakouts
Oh,
that
no,
you
this is
went
really
to.
great. So those of you that attended, please, I think that's a really fair question. And what information, especially if you're experienced or not experienced, it doesn't matter. Share with us. Let us know what you got out of it. So then for like a 201, I'm thinking more of like an advanced track, like drafts, okay, which yes is basic, and offer to likers is a little basic, and bundles, how do you do effective bundling, but all of that can be like a 201 track. So it can also be hands on. Now, that was the thing that I found most lacking. As someone in learning and development and someone who's an experienced reseller, especially on Poshmark, I feel that there wasn't a lot of hands-on activities for the attendees. I mean, we all have our phones while we're there. We all have Poshmark. We have it on our phone. It's an app where it's right there. Why, if we're doing something, why weren't we doing it in real time? Why weren't we being active so that we can do hands-on and learn a little bit more? And there are many ways you can do that, even in a short 30-minute or 45-minute session. So if we had those sessions extended to 45 minutes, you could put together a really easy, hey, let's talk about what we do. Let's answer some questions during the session because they didn't give any time for that. And let's go ahead and pull out our phones and do an activity. You can follow along or not. It's up to you. I mean, that's the kind of thing that I think would be beneficial, 100%.
Hugo, I think the reason we didn't get any hackathon like hands-on is because they haven't even baited it yet. They're still working on it as they were, dropping that short little 10-minute clip. So
exactly. So they were letting us know what's coming, but it's not ready. And even in the 411 session for the hackathon where they were talking about it, there were a lot of advices there were a lot of suggestions people were making. They said, "Ooh, that's good. Let's write that down. Let's add that in before we release it," which tells you it is really in beta.
It's really
in beta.
Denali said she got nothing this year. For me, it's truly about the networking. I love meeting and seeing everybody. I spend my days alone. Yep, I get the opportunity to hug people. If you need a hug, we're 3.5 hours away, Denali.
That's awesome. And then Leslie says that the YouTube session was great. She learned a lot, some apps to grow the channel. So see, those are the type of things. But then I'm thinking, well, this really wasn't a social media conference. However, social media ties directly into our sales strategy. I think Manish, or it was even mentioned a number of times, that we are a social community, and this is how we're growing our business, which again goes back to the Posh stories and why those are coming out. I'm just reading through the comments here.
Hugs are great. I think I got to hug Denali 3 times, actually.
Yeah, and
I got to hug Ty.
And Daniela says that multiple modalities. So going back to everything with the hands-on, and that's true because so many different learners learn differently. I'm like
Visual
taking pictures.
analyst person.
Yes, and I'm like, that's for me. That's what I need. I know Brittany was taking lots of notes because I feel like that for her.
So were Lara and Ashton, all taking like bookfuls of notes.
Exactly, and some people just want to have the phone in front of them and okay, well, show me what you're doing. Cool, I'm going to try that right now in real time with something that I'm doing.
Yep.
So yeah, having a different modality for different learners, I think is a really great piece of information. And then some of it, so I'm seeing something about data here. There were some sessions that were touted as having, insight into data and being able to analyze it, and it turned out it wasn't. So kind of misleading with some of those titles, but I think that having a little bit more information, and that could go into like a 301 track. So we already talked about 101 and 201, and then having maybe a very more advanced track for, super advanced people that are like, hey,
like
what
the
else
super
can I
number
learn?
people.
Yeah. Hey, those of us that are numbers people,
Nope.
we want to sit down and we want to dive in.
Yep.
We want to pull the sales report.
Gross.
We want to look at the data. We
No.
want to see how can we improve our sales by looking at these numbers, not just what it is. I mean, I know what it is. I can pull it. I know what it is. It's a report. I mean, I like it. It's pretty.
Blech.
You're so funny.
Get me to the bins instead of looking at a computer.
So anyway, so that's kind of what I'm thinking with this, where the opportunity was this year in Poshfest. Again, first Poshfest, but I didn't get much out of it that content-wise that I couldn't have found somewhere else. But I, again, am 100% supportive of the growth that Poshmark has made, and I feel that they did a great job with what they had. They were not organized at the Posh, the Posh Stories booth. So we went with a group, and so one of the things they were doing, this is another thing I forgot. I wanted to make a note of so that we can let them know. But they were doing videos. They were recording videos, and I'm trying to see where this is located.
I'm right there with you, Leslie. No numbers. I just need to see the balance. That's it, and how much inventory I have. Those are the only numbers I need.
Well, you're really awesome though. You watch all the numbers videos I post at the end so that you can kind of get caught up. But yeah, you don't want anything to do with it. I'm trying to find what this is called. So anyway, what they did was essentially your own personal Posh stories. And they had a video studio set up so you can go in and give tips or, film a quick little blurb about how you started, those type of things. But there was no organization to it. So we decided on the second day, there wasn't, during that 3-hour break, that there wasn't anything going on. We decided that we would go over and, hey, let's go ahead and let's record something. And we walked in and we were ignored for probably 20 minutes, I would say. 20 minutes, no one even said anything. They were filming, but they never said, here's where you go, sign up here. It was really disorganized, and we weren't even greeted. It kind of like bad service in a restaurant, and we felt so awkward. Like, are we supposed to be here? We had to look in the thing and say, this is open to everybody, right?
I felt like I was going to get, taken back into one of those curtains at the airport and just patted down.
Yeah, we just didn't feel like we were very important at that time, which, I mean, the whole thing is, if you want people to come, maybe next year for that section, have people enroll, have them sign up for time. And I think people did sign up for time because Amanda Weiss actually came over to us at one point and said, hey, people signed up for this and they're going to be coming in. And that was the only sentence we got. But we're like, how did they sign up? Where did they sign up? Should we wait? Should we not wait?
Yeah, like if you're going to RSVP or buy your tickets, maybe they have a little link. If you want to sign up for this stuff, you have to do it prior to.
I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
The men's happy hour on the
other hand. Okay, so tell us about the men's happy hour. So that's because, of course, I was not there because I wasn't a man. And I'm still not.
that's the thing. Got an email, oh, we're gonna have a men's happy hour, free drinks on us, blah blah blah. I was like, sweet, I'm gonna go. Went over with Steven and, oh my gosh, why did I forget his name already? Not Dan. David? No. Lane. No. I can't remember. Jeez. Anyway, we walked over to Nook Kitchen, which was probably, I don't know, 3 blocks away from the Hyatt. Walked in, got a drink ticket, got a pin, and we got a raffle ticket because they were raffling off a brand new in the box Yeezys. So it's like, sweet. Went and had an old fashioned. Awesome. Manish and Tracy came over, bent theirs a little bit. Meant the team that's actually going to start pushing the men's sellers a little bit more, kind of giving them more resources into where you can find clothes, what's going to come out, what's going to be trendy. Excellent. Went to go get another drink. He's like, how are you going to pay for this? It's like, okay. Then, I don't know, there had to have been at least 40 women just storm in. Like, this is a men's happy hour.
Well, but that was, so going back to the men's happy hour, so there was, there's been a lot of talk about it. I saw a lot of rumors online that the men's happy hour was fully free drinks, and there was 1 free drink per person. So that's where I wanted to make sure that that rumor was quashed, that it was, yes, and got 1 free drink. They were welcome to come because Manish there was only 70 men as opposed to the, 1,530 women that were there.
Right.
So yeah, they were really encouraging the men. And I get that. And I know that, some people feel that, hey, well, if you did it for the men, why didn't you do it for the women? Well, again, 70 men versus 1,530. But then when you have a bunch of women attend the men's happy hour when the other women weren't allowed to, it was just an interesting event.
And Denali said she didn't feel anything either way about the men's happy hour.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's like some people had these crazy, like, we shouldn't have it, there shouldn't have been
the other
this,
thing is a woman won the stinking Yeezys.
Oh yeah, Bill was very upset about that because I did have a giveaway, and so, he couldn't win if someone else won. But anyway, just those little things. But those are all part of every conference. So that really is not
first one,
exactly.
There's gonna be flaws in it.
Yeah, but I think it was
it was fun.
Cool idea.
I got to bend Manisha's ear
Why
for
not?
a while.
I was excited that you got to network with other guys because that's one of the things is, you definitely network with a lot of women, which is super cool. But, from a male perspective, it's nice to have many different perspectives.
Talked about how hard it is to find men's clothing out in the wild. You either find it new with tags or obliterated. Why? Because men wear things until they have holes in them and then they'll put them on one more time just for good measure. So, and then when guys are shopping, like I talked to Kevin from a wee bit or a Voyages of Her about this. When men go to shop, they want one thing. When they find it, that's it. So, it's a work in progress.
And then, so I'm not sure if this is Hugo, but so quick, yes. So the men's happy hour was not to separate any men and women. It was more to try to collect them and to talk to get their feedback about why there aren't more men on the platform. And I think that's great. And again, that is one of those things. Like if we're not there, we don't know. We're like, what is this? Why why are people there? So
Hugo, she'll actually like find a hole in something and rip it, so I have to go like toss it. Yes, I know what you're talking about. He said he's gonna wear clothes until Tiff makes him throw them away. Yeah. Why buy something else?
Anyway, so coming back to, I think that those were all the kind of major questions that were out there. But overall, thoughts on Poshfest 2019? Would we go again?
I think we're going to go again.
Well, that sounded enthusiastic.
No, I'm pretty sure we're going next year.
Hopefully
it's in Seattle, people.
Wouldn't that be crazy? Yeah, we were talking about that. But it's one of those where I feel what I got out of it was the community, yes. So for those of you that were attended or that didn't attend, there's not a lot of content this year, but it sounds like there was more content than prior years, and that tells me that it's going in an upward manner. And for those of us that attended, if we're very diligent in what we saw and what we wanted in our feedback to Poshmark,
absolutely,
and we constantly are, letting them know, hey, they're open to feedback, right? They're a new platform. Yeah. They're new. I mean, they are kind of new. What is it, 8 years? They're always looking for feedback. So we are responsible for also telling them what we want regularly in a positive way, not in a negative way. So you get more, what is that? You get more flies with honey than vinegar?
Yes.
Oh, bees with honey than vinegar? I don't know. But it's if you're nice and you're, intelligent about what changes you're looking for, I feel like they are going to be receptive. But if you're out there,
they're feasible also.
Exactly.
It's not like I want the moon.
But if you're on social media just saying this was ridiculous, I can't believe I spent this money, I didn't get what I wanted, and this is what I would always tell my employees anyway. It's like, okay, well, then what's your solution? So it's fine if you want to come in and have a complaint and say, hey, this didn't work. I hear you. Thank you for your feedback. How can we improve? And I feel like that, as Poshmark in general, that's really what it's about. How can we work together as a community to improve for next year? Right? I think that they did a great job with what they did, especially with the volunteers and the workers that were there. I don't actually know if they were volunteers. I think they were the employees, but
Correct.
They did what they came to do.
Yep.
And they made it happen.
Yep.
So that's. Are there any other questions that you all wanted to know about Poshfest or anything? That was kind of a rant, but we wanted to share kind of our experience and good, bad, and indifferent, and just kind of make sure that you get the real deal and not just my happy little 2-part wrap up that was full of music and dancing, because there's a lot more that go on as well. Ooh, yeah, Vancouver. That would be, I think that, Erin, you did say that Vancouver would be close to us. That would be nice. That would be nice.
Thanks, Denali. I should have just banned that guy the last time he came in.
And yes, everyone, fill out the surveys. Again, if you're, your voice can't be heard if you don't use it.
Correct.
100%. Awesome. Yep, exactly. East Coast and more diversified. Great. And I guess, okay, and that just reminds me of another thought I had, and I forgot to write it down because I thought about it in the shower and I didn't have a pen. But I would like to have the content earlier. So we buy tickets before we know the content, and I think that makes it a little bit harder for people to decide if they really do want to go. Luckily, Posh makes it super simple to get, transfer tickets for people that can't go. But I would like to know, what I'm going to get sooner than the agenda didn't come out. I think it was 3 weeks before Poshfest at the agenda.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Because I couldn't say anything about being a speaker until it was almost time Poshfest. Yeah, and I was literally biting my tongue every single day.
It was less than 3 weeks.
It was so bad. So that is it. I believe I answered everyone's questions, and everyone that sent in questions, thank you so much. This really helped us formulate some kind of thoughts on Poshfest 2019. It was, I'll end with some closing remarks, but yes, I did not get a lot of content out of it as a reseller who's been doing this for a very long time, but I made some of the best connections, and I would venture to say friends, than I have in a lot of time as an adult.
Especially as an adult.
Table 99. It was a great Table 99. It was just one of those experiences.
We love meeting you too, Leslie.
And what I'll say, because again,
thanks, Denali.
there are times where you can feel kind of like an outsider. You just have to get out of your comfort zone. I mean, I went up to people that I was really uncomfortable about going up to, and I did make sure that if people came up to me, I hopefully made them feel invited and warm. And
we even got pulled over in the airport.
Oh yeah, that was funny. On the way home, Monica, if you're watching, hi. But it was, so for me, it was worth it with the community. And I say I'm not sure if we'll go next year. I think that's totally a lie, because I'm sure I will totally go. And especially if we're going to split those tickets that Lara won, because Lara won the tickets to Poshfest.
Yep, Table 99, killing it.
Yes, crazy. All right, everybody. Well, Bill's going to get over to the hockey town. Who's playing tonight?
Oh, I don't even know right now. There's
he doesn't even know.
3 games on.
All right, well, he's going to get some hockey, and I'm going to get some wine, and we're going to let y'all go. So thank you so much again for joining.
Everybody.
Make sure you like the video, let us know, so then that way, we know that it was worth our time. I don't know.
Yep.
But hopefully you learned something from this, and if you have additional questions, don't hesitate to put those in the comments. Reach out on Instagram. Totally open to answering all those for you anytime. Okay, everybody, until next time, see y'all.